Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 89th episode of Weekly APC. And today we are going to discuss on how to write an effective submission for RICS APC. So today we'll be focusing on APC submissions. Uh, we'll not be able to discuss on the senior professional submissions. Let me see if there is any senior professionals out there. Is there any senior professional? If they are, then I will try to include few points as because senior professionals have to write case studies. So if there is any senior professionals, they can raise their hands. Then I will try to include that in today's discussion. Right? Okay. I hope we have one. Okay, we have. Okay. So uh, I will try to include that in the discussion today. Right now. Let's get started. I'll share my screen. Okay. I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Yeah, thank you. So let's go and quickly see what is agenda for today's discussion. Today we are going to understand on the different submissions. What are the different submissions that you have to submit to RICS, written submissions to RICS, and why is an effective submission important for your APC? Okay. Uh, Understanding summary of experience and case study. These are two important written submissions you need to submit to RICS, summary of experience and case study. Although summary of experience is not required for senior professionals, they only need to submit 3 case studies. Okay. Then we'll try to differentiate between what to do, what not to do in a submission. So we'll try to understand what a good submission should look like and what is actually a bad submissions which you must avoid. Then a little bit about planning for an effective submission, how you can plan your target dates, because we have for every region we have a fixed date for your submissions, a fixed window for your submission. Now, how to target that window, how to get started, where to get started, and what should you read before you start writing your submissions? What should you do before you start writing your submissions? Then we will also discuss on how assessors are going to check your submissions. So I will disclose the assessors checkpoints, basically applicable for both the summary of experience and case study. And you should always keep these points in your mind before writing your submission so that you can align your writing with the assessor's requirement, with the RICS requirement, right? Next, how we are helping candidates in making effective submissions. So that is the last point that I'm going to discuss. Okay. A few terminologies that you must know. There are a few candidates who have not enrolled in RICS and who are new to the process. For the sake of all those candidates, I would like to just explain this few terminologies like route, pathway, CPD, and competencies. So there are different routes to become MRICS. We have structured route, we have preliminary route, preliminary assessment route, senior professional route, specialist and academic route. So basically in structured route and preliminary route, you need to write both summary of experience and case study, right? Whereas in senior professional specialist academics route, you just need to have a case study, write and submit. Next is the pathway. You have in MRICS, there are 22 different pathways through which MRICS can be achieved. Now, like quantity surveying and construction pathway, project management pathway, valuation, facility management. These are some of the pathways for RICS, right? Then CPD. CPD stands for Continuing Professional Development. It is about learning hours, basically. How many hours uh, you have involved yourself in updating and enhancing your skills, knowledge, right, throughout the work. Then competencies. So what are these competencies? I would rather say it's that these are the subjects. Like in academics, we have learned, we usually learn subjects. So here are the competencies, a list of tasks or functions that you must be skilled at for a particular pathway. So there are different competencies for different pathways, right? We will understand that in details, okay, upcoming slides. Now, this is the list of competencies for quantity surveying and construction pathway, right? Here you can see there are mandatory competencies, core and optional competencies. So these mandatory competencies, these are mandatory, means these are common business skills, common can say construction, business behavioral and attitudinal skills, basically, which is required by all the candidates, means as all the professionals working in this built environment, right? So we have ethics, rules of conduct, client care, communication, negotiation. So for all pathway, it is applicable for all pathway, whether you come from project management, valuation, quantity surveying. You have to go through this 11 mandatory competencies. You have to learn these 11 competencies. Then we have in quantity surveying, we have some core competencies, like 6 core competencies. Core competencies are the technical competencies specific to that pathway. Now, this core competencies and optional competencies differs according to the pathway. In, in, in quantity surveying, you have this list of core competencies like commercial management, construction technology, contract practice, procurement, tendering, project finance, quantification, costing. Now, if you look at project management, you will have different core competencies like managing projects, project brief, leading people, projects, and team. So it will be different from quantity surveying. Similarly, if you go to valuation, it will be different. But mandatory is the same for every pathway. Okay. So what are the different submissions for APC? We need to submit CPD records. Okay. CPD records means learning hours. There are some mandatory requirement of CPD hours per year by RICS. So when you are submitting your documents, you need to declare that so much of CPD hours you have completed. Like for APC candidates who are going through APC preliminary assessment through, they have to complete 48 hours of CPDs, means 48 hours of learning. They have to declare that in last 12 months from the date of submission, they have done 48 hours of learning or CPD records, CPDs, and that they have to declare on the RICS portal, like how many hours they have done, what CPD they have done, and for how many hours. So in last 12 months, all the CPDs will be added, and that should be more than 48 hours. 48 hours is the minimum requirement. Then summary of experience. Summary of experience is your write-up on the competencies that we have discussed in the last slide. So summary of experience is the write-up, a written document on the competencies, like what is your knowledge on the competencies, what you have done in that competencies, and in level 3 competencies, what you have advised. So understand that level 1, level 2, and level 3. Okay. Then case study. So you also need to submit one case study, around 3,000 worded case study, right, on a project challenge, right, a challenge in a project, and how you have resolved it. Okay, so that needs to be on your technical competence. You need to write a case study. So these are the 3 submissions that you have to make to RICS before before you do your preliminary submissions, or you are going for your final submissions applicable for both. Now, I want to make it more clear. Like if you are going through APC preliminary assessment route, if you are a candidate who is having a general degree and more than 5 years of experience, you will be eligible for preliminary assessment route. So in preliminary assessment route, it will be a two-step process. Firstly, your documents will be submitted to RICS for preliminary review, for preliminary check, right? The documents will be checked and RICS will see whether your documents are up to the standards of RICS. Are they fulfilling the expectations of RICS? That they can allow you to go for interview. That is the second stage. So this is the scenario for all those candidates who are from a general college, not RICS accredited college. Right? And the candidates who are from RICS accredited college, okay, will finish the structured training, or those who are having RICS accredited degree and having more than 10 years of experience, they can directly submit their document and go for interview. But yes, the good submission is equally important for both of them. Like in APC prelims, if your submissions are not okay in the first stage, then they will refer you even in the preliminary stage. But that is not the case for the RICS accredited guys. You can go with a bad submission to the final stage for the final interview. Now, in the final interview, while scrutinizing your documents, if the assessors find that there is something wrong, okay, there is something technically wrong in the submissions, uh, even after a good interview, they can refer the basis of a very bad submission. Uh, that can be a basis of referral. So good submission is equally important for whatever route you are going through. Right? Okay. Now, uh, every candidate must know the submission dates of their region when they have to submit. Okay, because before the submission date, you have to complete few activities on your portal. Okay, before the submission date. So in all the activities, the most important activity is to complete your professionalism module, that is ethics test. Ethics test. It's a multiple choice question answer. And you have to go through a module actually. You have to read some documents and go through a training on RICS portal, and then you have to write some multiple choice question answers, and you can qualify this professionalism module. You can get unlimited chance to qualify it, right? It's not like one-time chance. Then before submission, you have to make your selection for counselor also. Then you have to submit the CPD records. Okay, CPD records, learning hours, you have to record it. Here you can see there is a place for CPD records. Okay. This is CPD records. This is professionalism, or this is the ethics test. So your platform will look like this once you get access to our ISIS platform. Then you have to select the competencies applicable for your pathway. For that, you have to go to competency selector, which you will find it here. Below this tab, you will find competency selector. You will select all the competencies which are applicable to your pathway. Then, and for that, you have to follow RICS pathway guide, of course, to select the competencies. Then most important document, summary of experience and case study. These are the two documents that you have to complete, and you should download the template that is available on the RICS portal. The template for writing the summary of experience and case study will be available here. Just click on it, download it, and in that format, that will be a Word file. So in that Word file, you have to input your writing, okay, and then convert it into PDF before you upload it here, right? So download the template, write your documents, and then convert into PDF, upload. Convert into PDF, upload for the case study. Same. Once it is uploaded, it will show started. Once you upload, it will show started. This not started will show started, right? And then once it is approved by the counselor here, The counselor will approve it on their portal. The counselor has a separate portal. Like I have a separate portal where I can see the submissions of my candidates, and there I go and approve their documents. So after approval, it will show completed like this, completed. Okay, completed. Okay. Then once all these things are done, like photo, CPD, and case study, summary of experience approved by counselor, then you have to do this declaration. It's declaration part. Okay. This has to be done by the candidate, right? This is the final thing that you have to do after counselor has approved your document. Okay. So this is a little bit about the platform, how it looks like, and how you have to make the submissions. Okay. This is assessor's platform where assessor can see the documents, and then they can approve the candidate from here, right? So why submissions are important? As Why RICS? Firstly, you have to understand why RICS is asking candidates to make a written submissions before they can go for interview. They could have just simply asked the candidates to come, and they could have interviewed them, right? But why they are asking this candidates to make submissions? First, you need to understand every professional have different experience, have their different, uh, can say, expertise level, different form of experience. Like some candidates are working in pre-contract, some candidates are working in post-contract. Some are very experienced, 25 years, some are less experienced, 7 years, 8 years. So how could you frame your answers? How RICS assessor will frame their answers? What will be the basis of their submissions? It is very difficult. So RICS is saying they're asking the candidates to submit what they know in the documents, what they have done, right? So as a candidate, you are declaring your capabilities through your submissions. What you have learned, what you have studied in the competencies, what you have done in your projects in all those areas, right? That you are submitting to RICS. Then on the basis of submissions, the assessors will be asking you the question. So in short, you can say that RICS assessment is not uh, an academic assessment. It's not like other job interviews or no. It is an experiential assessment. Experiential assessment means it will be based on your experience. Whatever you have experienced throughout your career, your professional journey, you will be assessed on that. So be very judicious, and at the same time, be very cautious what you are writing in your submissions. You should not be writing something which you will not be able to back up during your final interview. So write what you have learned and what you have actually done in your projects, rather than uh, you know uh, writing some hypothetical things. Okay. So that is one part. Now, if you make a good submission, good submissions, so it is 80% of the work done. 80% of your work done, because once a candidate comes with a good submission in the final interview, the perception of the assessors are bound to change on the positive side, because it's a holistic process. When we are making a final final judgment on whether the candidate is suitable for MRICS or having or to get the membership or not, it's not only based on the final day's performance or final day's question and answers. It depends on all the aspects of the process, like how the submissions are done, how well it is written, right? Then your presentation, how you present. Then, of course, question and answers are considerably an important aspect of your success in MRICS. But submissions also carry a very good weightage. Okay. Now, bad submissions are very detrimental for you in this process, because once you make a bad submissions, then if you are a preliminary candidate, you'll be referred, and then you have to go for next submission. Okay. So sometimes candidates end up in that loop of submitting again and again. So be very cautious when you are writing submissions. Get help of your counselor, right? Get some expert advice before you submit your documents. Okay. Now, summary of experience. So it's a record of your. So what is this summary of experience? A record of your real life professional experience in the competencies declared in the pathway guide. Okay. It comprises of brief statements and explanations. So what is this summary of experience? As we have seen, we have three type of competencies. Okay? And summary of experience is the write-up on the competencies. Like we have mandatory competencies common to all pathway, core, that is a technical skill, and optional competency, that is also technical skill, but you can select from a list of technical competencies, right? So these are the competencies. Now there are certain level 1, level 2, and level 3. So level 1 is about basic understanding of the competency. Basic understanding of the competency, theoretical understanding. Like you can see in mandatory, we have accounting principle, business planning, all this. These are the level 1 competencies. You just need to know these things on a basic level, right? Learn these things. Okay. And in summary of experience, you have to write only level 1, and that too in 80 to 100 words. What you have learned, from where you have learned, what is your understanding on this competency. So in 80 to 100 words, you will write this level 1 each, 80 to 100 words each. Okay. Then comes the level 2. Level 2 means you must have level 1 understanding and level 2 understanding of that competency. Like in health and safety, you must have understanding, knowledge, basic understanding of that competency on a theoretical basis, theoretical knowledge. And level 2 means doing or demonstrating it practically. So you must also have demonstrated health and safety in your projects. So in level 1, you will write about what you know about health and safety competency. And in level 2, you have to write how you demonstrate health and safety in your projects. And here you have to take some real life project example. It should not be a generic writing. There should be a real life project example, like in so and so project. I have been involved in health and safety. I have attended the toolbox meetings. I have also participated in risk assessment, health and safety risk assessments at site. I review the documents of contractors, like HSE documents for the contractors. So and so forth. Like how you demonstrate it in your projects, you have to write that too in 120 to 150 words maximum, right? Now for level 3 competencies are all those competencies where you need to have in-depth understanding so that you can advise anyone on that particular competency. Okay, so in mandatory, there is only one competency, that is ethics, rules of conduct, which you need to understand at level 3, at the level of level 3. Okay, so in level 3 competencies, you have to write level 1 for that competency, what you know about it, level 2, what you have done related to that competency, and level 3 is about where you have advised. You have to pick out a scenario, or you have to write one scenario where you have advised on ethics or any sort of conflict of interest is also related to ethics, conflict of interest, or you have advised on any sort of misconduct or dishonesty, something like, or any professionalism issues, if you have advised your management or your client, that you can include them. Similarly, in core, this is a project management pathway guide. Basically, you can see there are a few level 2 competencies and level 3 competencies. So in level 2, similarly, you have to write level 1 and level 2. Like in procurement and tendering, you have to write only level 1 and level 2. Whereas in project management, leading projects, people and team, development and projects brief, contract practice, this needs to be written at up to the level 3. So level 3 needs to be written in 200 words, 200 to 250 words around, right? So why I'm saying this words, so much of words, because there is a word limit. The mandatory For mandatory, there is a word limit of 1,500 words. You cannot go beyond 1,500. Okay. Similarly, for core and optionals taken together, you will have 4,000 words. Okay, 4,000 words to complete this. So total write-up should be within 5,500 words. Not go beyond that. You cannot go a single word beyond that, because many candidates have terrible experience with it. The submissions getting referred due to 2 words or 1 word exceeding the limits, and it's a non-negotiable sort of thing. So try to complete your writing within the word limits. 1,500 words for mandatory, 4,000 words for core plus optional. It's totally technical. Okay. Quantity surveying pathway guide. So this is already we have discussed. Knowing, doing, and advising. Okay. Now, what to write in the summary of experience? What should we write? So for understanding what should we write, we have to refer to 2 documents. The first document that you should refer to is RICS Candidate Guide. So RICS has recently published Candidate Guide. You must go through it to understand the process, like what should be, what are the guidelines for summary of experience, what are the guidelines for case study. So in Candidate Guide, you will get the guideline. It is same for all the pathway. The Candidate Guide is same for all the pathway, but Pathway Guide is specific to a pathway. Now, this is the second document. Pathway Guide is the second document that you must refer before going into your submission. Now, what you will get in the Pathway Guide? In Pathway Guide, you will get the list of competency, and for each of the competency, you will get some example of knowledge. You will get some example of knowledge. Okay. Example of knowledge particular to that competency, right? So you have to align your writing according to that expectation of knowledge. So say, for example, for ethics rules of conduct, okay? If you open the Pathway Guide and go to ethics rules of conduct, you will see that for level 1, there are some example of knowledge. For level 2, there are some example of knowledge that you must have. And for level 3, you will have some example of knowledge where you could advise, right? Now, you have to map your writing according to those example of knowledge. You cannot write anything haphazard on ethics, right? Uh, Anything that is prevalent in the common world. No, you cannot write that. You have to align your writing according to the expectations of RICS that is written in the Pathway Guide. So in ethics rules of conduct, you will see there are the rules of conduct published by RICS. You need to read that, understand it, and then include that in your level 1 writing, that you are aware of RICS rules of conduct. It is based on so and so things like honesty, integrity, and so this is how it is written, aligned with the RICS requirements. Mostly, this is very common mistake that is done by the candidates. Those who are not aware of the process, they generally write on their own, not aligning to RICS requirement, and mostly getting referred. And in their referral report, assessors generally comment it like the write-up is not aligned with the Pathway Guide, or please follow the Pathway Guide. Understanding of competency, there is a gap in the understanding of competency, and the candidate must refer to the Pathway Guide. So that's why it's very important when you are writing your summary of experience, please follow the Candidate Guide first, then go to the Pathway Guide, go to that competency you are writing, and align your writing according to that. Okay. These are the word count limits. Now, this is one model writing for ethics rules of conduct level 1. Okay. So what should you include? What should you include there in the writing? Firstly, you have to provide where from you have gained the knowledge. Okay, the source of your knowledge. You must have attended any CPD, or you may have read some guidance notes. Okay, that you have to write that I have attended so and so workshop or so and so CPD, and I have read this guidance notes. So that is the source of your knowledge. Then you have to uh, write on what knowledge you have acquired from those uh, workshops or CPDs. Okay, like you have understood new rules of conduct. So what you have understood, write one more sentence on what you have understood on new rules of conduct, rather than just writing I know about it or I have read it. Put some more knowledge, more information in a single sentence, and try to make a very concise and clear sentence, because there is a limitations of word. So the quality of writing matters here. You have to understand how to express maximum in minimum words. Right? And for that, focus on writing active sentences in a direct mode, not in indirect mode. Don't write lengthy sentences that will unnecessarily, no, unnecessarily increase the word counts. Okay, so short sentences and try to capture more understanding of that competency in your writing and align it with the pathway guide. So complete in 80 to 100 words, right? If you are giving reference to some CPD that you have attended recently, try to map that CPD with your CPD records. The CPD records that you'll be submitting to RICS, try to map it with it. Suppose you are referring to a CPD that you have done in your organization. So if you've done it recently, try to put that in your CPD records. You should put that in the CPD records if it is in that last 12 months. Okay. Now next is doing. So when you are writing level 2, try to provide, not try, you have to provide actually uh, project specific examples where you have demonstrated that competency practically. Okay. Now, say for example, this is one summary of experience for procurement and tendering. So here the candidate has written that in so and so project, he was responsible for managing tendering process, utilizing a selective tendering procurement to procure new contractor. Right? Then how the candidate has done it, that is described in a little bit. Right? So this is evidence that the candidate has reached level 2 in this particular competency. Try to provide two examples, two different scenario, maybe from the same project, or two different projects will be more will be more effective. Okay, so try to provide two examples and align it with the requirement of RICS. Try to align it with the pathway guide. Right. Complete it within 120 words. Now this 120 words or 80 to 100 words that I'm saying for every levels, this is not something fixed criteria by RICS. We are trying to complete this so that our entire writing will be within the limits of the requirements of RICS. That is 1500 words for mandatory and 4000 words for technicals. Right. Now, next is advising. Okay. In advising also, you have to find out two different examples from your project, okay, where you have advised your management, your client, your contractor. In ethics rules of conduct, you may have advised your colleague. That is also applicable. So that you have to write. And here also take the reference of RICS pathway guide and align your writing according to that. It should be between 150 to 200 words. Okay. So as you can see, level 1 is the list is having list number of word counts. Okay. Level 2 a little more. Level 3 is more than level 1 and level 2. So this is how your document should be balanced. It should not be like level 1 you have written 300 words, and then level 2 and level 3 completed within 50 words. Just only one example you have given. So it's unbalanced submission that is not looked upon as a good submissions. So you need to balance it. Level 1 less, level 2 little more, level 3 more than that, right? Level 3 you have more things to write. If you are falling short of words in level 3, right, after writing level 1, level 2, or maybe if you don't have much to write in level 3, then it will be taken that candidate is not able to achieve the level 3, or somewhere the candidate is lagging in level 3 knowledge area, right? So this is one advice given on procurement and tendering, right? Specifically mention the name of the project where you have done it, right? What advice you have given, and your advice should be backed by some reasoning or logic, right? So writing level 3 should be in such a way. Write the name of the project, write the issue that has that you have faced, and then write the advice that you have given to uh, mitigate that issue or mitigate that challenge, and provide the reasoning why advice was provided, why you have provided that advice, a reasoned advice. Okay? So this is how it should move on. Now, good SOE. So what you should do in a SOE? Showing the evidence of knowledge through different CPDs and through level 1 writing. You must show the evidence of your knowledge. Then align with the RICS expectations and example. Okay. For that, you have to follow the pathway guide example of knowledge. Then it should be grammatically correct submission. For that, you must proofread your submissions. Take help of your your friends who are good in this language, uh, written English. They can proofread it for you. Even you can take the help of, there are many softwares available. You can also put your writing over there and you can correct your grammar. Uh, Clarity and accuracy in writing. So, mm, clarity and accuracy in writing means your sentences should be grammatically very clear, and the informations that you are providing should be accurate. Okay, accurate. Now, writing contextual with the levels. This is important. Writing contextual with the levels means when you are writing level 1, you must write what you know about that competency. Knowing. It's level 1 is only about knowing. You should not be writing level 2 in level 1. Like what you are doing. Sometimes candidates write level 2 in level 1. In level 1, they start explaining on what they are doing in the project. But it's not like that. Level 1, you have to write what you know. Level 2, you have to write what you have done. Again, few candidates write what they have advised in level 2. And in level 3, they don't write about what they have advised. They simply keep on writing what they have done. So that is called mixing of the levels. They generally do this. This is a very common thing. And all these things I am saying because I have done a lot of preliminary assessment for RICS. I have checked many documents for RICS till date. So these are very common thing that is happening in submissions. And that's why I want to make it very clear. Please don't mix the levels. Be very specific. What should be written in level 1, level 2, and level 3. It should contain case study topic. Now, the summary of experience must be linked with your case study. Whatever topic you have written in the case study should be a part of your summary of experience, right? Bad SO is opposite to it. There's grammatical errors and message is not clear, incorrect contents in level 3, not linking with the case study. So these are no, you must not do in your SOE. This is one example I was trying to I try to bring it to you, like uh, how you should not write a sentence in your SOE. So you can see there are a lot of long sentences in SOE, these sentences. So it's very difficult for the reader. It's very stressful actually for the reader to read and make out of the sentences. So always try to make the writing uh, concise, short sentences so that it can be uh, easy for the reader to read and understand. You can paraphrase the writing. If you are unable to compress the writing, you can paraphrase it and paraphrase it through the different tools, and you can uh, uh, shorten the write-ups. Okay. Why candidates fail to write a good SOE? They don't read the pathway guide, candidates guide. That is the number one mistake that they generally do. Start writing competencies without attending CPTs. Yes. Now, few candidates, they generally see the model submissions, or they generally take some submissions from their friends, MRICS friends, and then they start writing the competencies without attending any CPTs or without learning the competencies. So that is not going to be very helpful for you, and ultimately it will result in disaster. Now, not studying the guidance notes. RICS guidance note, for guidance note, I'm referring to RICS guidance note. You need to study those guidance notes uh, to understand the RICS way of doing things, and not having good counselor support, ignoring proofreading and waiting. So sometimes the counselor support is also not good. Uh, so that is also reason that the candidates fail to submit a good submissions, and then ignoring proofreading and vetting. This is a very important aspect once you are ready with your submissions. Mostly those who are working in the South Asian countries and um, Middle East. So we generally don't belong to English speaking nations, right? Uh, that is not our first language. So it's very common that there may be some grammatical errors, and there may be some punctuation errors, capitalization errors in our documents. You need to get it proofread, uh, right? From some expert or from some software, whatever you prefer, because that is going to make a difference when you are submitting your documents for preliminary review. Okay. So this is how you can start to write your submissions and get it completed uh, within the time frame. So 45 days, if you take 45 days of the time frame, like say, for example, we have February as the submission dates for Middle East. Now, if you're targeting submission dates of Middle East, still you have a time. You can get it done through this process. Like if you start reading the pathway guide and candidates guide and learn the competencies, then go through the RICS guidance books, start writing the mandatories first. So when you are writing, start with the mandatory level 1 first. Don't jump on the core competencies level 3, right? So start writing mandatories, get it checked with your counselor, then target completing 4 competencies per week. Okay. So if you do like this, you will be able to complete that SOE in 45 days. 45 days are fair enough time to complete the summary of experience. But yes, you need to have access to learning all the competencies. That is important. Now, case study. So now we will discuss on case study. So case study is another area where candidates find it challenging to find some case study topic, or they're unable to understand what to write. Generally, it's an area where it gives a lot of pain to the APC candidates, right? So finding out a case study topic and writing it effectively. Now, what this case study is all about? So case study is a 3,000 worded document, and it is about a challenge that you have faced in your project. Okay, a critical challenge that you have faced in your project, and then you have resolved it through a reasoned advice given to your management or to your client. Now, I have broken down this case study into a few parts. Like there is an event, the case study. What are the contents of the case study? The case study, there should be there should be a project. So you have to take one project, and that too within 2 years from the date of your submissions. So where you are actively involved. Now in that project, so project is the event basically. So this is the project. Now in this project, there must be a challenge. There must be a challenge that will come up as a key issue. Then you have to write how you have resolved it. Okay. And for resolution, you have to advise some options which can be considered to resolve that challenge. Okay. Like say, for example, if your challenge is cost overrun, now for resolving it, you can suggest few options like value engineering. You can change some construction methodology to expedite the work, or you can change some materials, change the procurement route, right, to fight that cost overrun. So there can be many ways to do it. Uh, so you have to list out the options uh, that can be helpful to mitigate that challenge. Okay, then you have to provide the advice on each of the options, like which option is feasible or which option is not feasible, like which is acceptable option, which is rejected option. Okay, so if you are saying that this is the acceptable option, you have to prove through analysis why it is accepted option. And if you are rejecting some options, you have to prove, or you have to justify why you are rejecting. So there should be a good reason of rejecting that option. It should be clearly written in your document. Okay. So then you have to do analysis, and finally the outcome. Outcome means outcome of the project. After your advice, how the case study has completed. Okay, that you're writing the outcome, and competencies gained. So competencies gained means which competencies have you demonstrated in this case study that needs to be clearly written in the case study, right, at the end. So let's example with the help of one case study. Okay, so finding your case study topic, right? Finding your case study topic. So to find your case study topic, firstly, you need to see in which project you are deeply involved in the last 2 years. It is number one. Secondly, identify one key issue from the area of your expertise and contextual to your role, right? So whatever the challenge or whatever the key issue you are suggesting from the case study should be related to the core competency of your pathway, right? Say, for example, if you're in a quantity surveying pathway, so your key issue should be any contractual issue, or should be any procurement related issue, or maybe some quantification costing related issues, right? It should not be a health and safety issue or any ethical issue, right? It should be a core issue first. There may be some subsidiary issue related to that core issue. That's okay. That it is resulting in health and safety issues as well. It is resulting in ethical issues as well. But the key issue must directly be related to the core competencies. Then given reasoned advice. Given reasoned advice. Now, in this case study, you must have given reasoned advice. Reasoned advice means through some analysis, you have given the advice to your management or your client. Then competencies gained and lessons learned. And there must be some lessons learned in the case study. So the assessor will like to see through your case study how you have developed yourself as a professional while you are resolving this issue. So that you need to write in your lessons learned. You have to write like what are the key takeaways from this key case study and what better you can do in the upcoming projects. So at the center of all these considerations lies your case study. Okay, it must have all these elements. Okay. So what is the word count limit? 3,000 words word count limit. Uh, you have been personally involved in the last 2 years prior to the date of your submission. This is very important thing that you must know this 2 years and from which date this 2 year will be counted. Say if you are going for preliminary assessment review, right? Say it is in February. Now you submit February 2025. Now you submitted a case study which you have done in February 2000 or March 2023, right? In March 2000, March, April 2023, right? So during the preliminary window, that is in February 2025, it is valid, right? You can submit. But when you will be going for final submission in the month of September 2025, your case study will be no longer valid. So whatever case study you are selecting, the date of the case study you are selecting, make sure that this case study is valid till your final submission date, till you are making the final submission. So my advice will be better to select a date which is means as near as possible to your date of submission. Okay. Right? So the date, submission date means the date of final submissions. Okay. 2 years back from the date of final submission. Critical appraisal of the project. So you have to do analysis of the options, provide an outline of the learning outcomes in the lessons. Then you will use the case study to make a 10 minutes presentation. So on the basis of the case study, you have to prepare a 10 minutes presentation for your final assessment interview. Okay. Case study must relate to the competency of your pathway that I have already discussed, that the case study topic must be related to the core competency of your pathway. And you need to describe your role in the project while you are writing the case study. Now, there is a specific format for writing your case study that is available in the RICS candidates guide, and your case study as four different segments. I can say 4 segments. The first is introduction, second is my approach, third is my achievement, and fourth is conclusion. Okay. Now, what should be written in the introduction? What should you write in approach, my achievement? This is very clearly written in the RICS candidates guide. Still, I will discuss on it. Now, for the senior professional candidates, the format will be same, but for you, there are two differences. Number one, your validity, your case study validity is 3 years, whereas for APC preliminary assessment or structured candidates, uh, means for normal route, they have only 2 years. So senior professionals are getting 1 more year as case study validity. That is advantage. Second, the word limits for you. You will have to write 3 case studies, right? For each case study, the word limit is between 1,000 to 1,500. So 1,500 is the final cutoff for each case study. You cannot go beyond 1,500 words. So in 1,500 words, you have to write each case study. There will be 3 case studies for senior professionals. For APC candidates, you will have to write only 1 case study. You may take 2 key issues in the case study, but it's not a mandatory requirement by RICS. You can take 1 key issue as well. Right? If you think that you can write 2 key issues, you can do it. Okay. Now, what to write in introduction part? So in introduction, you will write about the project brief, the description of the project that you are going to, the case study relates to, right? So you will write about the project brief, description of the project, the name of the project, different stakeholders, what type of project it was, and then you have to write on what is the procurement route followed, what is the contract type, contract sum, and duration of the project. So these are some of the project briefs that you can put in the introduction, and then you have to write about your role in the project. So your role and project description, that will be the part of introduction. You should try to uh, finish this introduction part in 400 words for APC candidates. Now, for senior professionals, you have to complete means you have to complete this introduction part in much lesser words, because you have less words, right? Only 1500 words you have. So then you have to go to my approach. In my approach, you will write about the key issue or the challenge that you have faced in the project. So generally, many candidates start my approach with the background of the key issue, means how the key issue has arisen in the project, and they write about the background of the key issue. Then they write about the key issue statement, and finally they write the options that they have used to mitigate the challenge, and they do the option analysis in my approach section. Okay. The third one is my achievement. In my achievement, they will write how they have implemented the selected option. Means they must have advised on a particular option to mitigate the challenge. Now, how that advice was implemented in the project. Like they have done some meetings and workshops, they have done some negotiations, and they have finally come up with the with that particular options or advice, right? So you have to mention how you have implemented it, and then what was the outcome of the project in terms of time, in terms of cost, in terms of expectations of the employer. What was the outcome? So that will be the part of my achievement. And then the conclusion part. In conclusion part, you have to write about the lessons learned, what lessons you have learned in this case study, and what better you can do in the upcoming projects. Then after the case study, there will be some appendices, like the competencies that you have demonstrated, that you have to write in the appendix. What are the competencies that you are demonstrating in this case study, right? Let's see one example. So this is one case study written by one of our candidate. Here you can see this is the introduction part. It starts with a brief of the case study, then project overview, right? The project overview. So you can see here that project particulars are written. Then my role, it's a part of introduction. A role, you can put your project organogram to show your role in that project, your position in the project. Then you write about your role specifically. Then my approach. In my approach, firstly, you can write about the background of the key issue. Then the key issue statement. In the key issue statement, this is the key issue statement. Then the employer's requirement in terms of time, cost, and quality. And then you take out the options required to resolve the key issue. Like here the candidate has considered 4 options. Okay. It is advisable to take 3 options generally, and more than 3 should not be taking less than 3, like 2 options. Doesn't looks good, although there is no such mandatory requirement you have to take 3, but 3 options or more than 3 options you can take. Now, detailed analysis of the options. So in each of the options, the candidate is doing the detailed analysis through various advantages and disadvantages, and giving the logic why this option is not feasible, or why this option is not workable, why it is rejected. Right. Then evaluation of the proposed options. So it is all coming under my approach. So time, cost, and quality. In terms of time, cost, and quality, each of the options are analyzed through quantitative analysis. And the selection of the proposed option. So here the candidate has used option analysis through weightage and points rating system, and the option which has rated maxima is taken as the most feasible option. And then it comes to my achievement part, where the implementation of the select option. But they've discussed how the option was implemented, right? So they have done the meetings, explained to the employees team, and and then if there are some contractual, let's say, formalities needs to be done. Like if you are terminating a contractor, then how you have done that. That you needs to explain in my achievement section. The implementation part needs to be discussed, and then finally the outcome. What was the outcome after your advice? How your project has completed. Now, in some cases, the project has not completed yet. It's in the process. It's an ongoing process, the ongoing project, right? So there you need to write about the prognosis of outcome rather than writing the outcome. You have to write the prognosis of outcome. So this is what how APC case study. Now it's a conclusion. Conclusion. In conclusion, you can see there are experience. What are experience gained and what are the lessons learned. Then appendix. This is the all the competencies that are demonstrated. Okay. So this will not be in the part of word count. Appendix is exempted from the word counts. Your word count will be from here. This entire from here lessons learned end. From here till the this from where the introduction is starting, like from here. Now page numbers, this content page or declaration, confidentiality, that will not part of your word count. Now for senior professionals, you will have to write 3 case studies. First case study will be on your senior professional competence, that is leadership, managing people and managing resources. Second will be on your technical competence, and third will be also on your technical competence. So for I'll just like to quickly wrap up. I know that this will not be sufficient for you to understand, rather. It's not for this session was not for a senior professional, just for the sake of a few candidates who are attending today. I'm just trying to just give a brief important points on the case study of senior professionals. So the first competency, first case study, uh, there you have to write on managing people, managing resources, and leadership. So here you will take out some of the key issues, few key issues, 2 or 3 key issues related to leadership, managing people, and managing resources, and how there you need not to do option analysis, right? Unlike this case study of APC, you just need to write what is the key issue and how you have resolved it, right? Simply the problem or the challenge you have faced and what you have resolved. This is how it should be written. Key issue 1, key issue 2, key issue 3. These are the key issues in this particular case study, and I have resolved it like this. So simple. You have to write about the introduction of the project and write about your role. That will be there, but there should not be any option analysis like this case study. Then technical competency 1. In technical competency 1, you have to demonstrate 2 core competencies of your pathway, right? So say, for example, if you are from quantity surveying pathway and writing your technical competence case study for senior professional, you need to take 2 core competencies like contract practice and procurement and tendering in technical competence 1 case study. And in technical competence 2 case study, you have to take 2 separate core competencies beyond those which you have used in technical competency 1. It should not be similar to those which you have used in technical competence 1. So if you have already used contract practice and procurement in the first technical competency, you have to take something different like project finance and construction technology in your technical competence too. So this is a very important part which generally senior professionals miss out, and their documents are rejected after this they make the submissions. So this is important thing that I thought I should share with you. Please keep it in mind when you are writing your case study. For the time constraint, I'm unable to show you any model submissions for the senior professional. Maybe in some other day we will be discussing at length on senior professional case studies. So this is all now. I will wrap up in next 5 minutes. So this is the checklist of assessors, how they are going to check your case study. This is a checklist, right? So they will see whether your project is suitable as a case study, means with the key issue that you have taken, whether it is a critical up to the level of RICS, whether your case study is valid, like the timelines, they will see. Then the level of responsibility, they will see your responsibility has been explained properly in the case study or not. Then number 3 is identify at least one issue. At least one issue should be there. At least one key issue should be that is relevant to your core competency. Okay. Now, solutions considered. So each of the points are the checkpoints of the assessors, and your case study must get must be checked in all these areas, right? So solution considered and good reasons for rejecting options. So whether you have considered some options, whether you have given the good reason to reject the options, whether the chosen solution is supported by a reasoned judgment. Have you given a reasoned judgment that you were selecting a particular option? Summary on how the project has completed. So this is the part of the outcome or the prognosis of outcome. Whether you have mentioned it in your case study or not, that will be checked. Evaluation and understanding of the lessons learned. There's a part of conclusion. At least one level 3 competency demonstrated. So one level 3 core competency, you must demonstrate at least one core competency up to level 3. And that should be the part of your SOE, summary of experience. Case study consistent with summary of experience. That is what I'm saying, linking the case study with the summary of experience. Accuracy, clarity, and level of details. So it's self-explanatory that your case study should be clear, accurate, and the level of detail that you're giving should make your case study easily understood and readable to the assessor. Right? These are some of the some of the tips for effective writing. Already I have discussed it. Now, how we are going to help you if you are making your submissions, it's one-to-one support. We can provide you some tools to make your submissions more effective. There are some word counter tools, and we have Excel formats where you can easily write your submissions, and that will be aligned with the RICS expectations. Like you can have easy to use documents which you can refer to and write your submissions. There are some personalized doubt clearance sessions that we provide, the record and live sessions of the competency. We have an e-learning platform. So on that e-learning platform, you can get access to all the recorded sessions. You can learn at your own flexible time, 24/7 access to the e-learning platform. Then vetting and proofreading of submissions. We do vetting of submissions, and checking by expert assessors are also done for your submissions. So this is all about today's discussion. Now, if you are interested to get it done from Alpha Consulting, right? We have so many successful professionals submitting and qualifying MRICs this year. These are the recent testimonials, and this year, 2025, not this year, the coming year, actually, 2025, we are expecting 100+ candidates qualifying MRICs from Alpha Consulting. So these are some of the candidates which we have directly guided, although a lot of other candidates, since we have impacted more than 50 candidates this year to qualify their MRICs indirectly and directly. So these are some of them who have taken our help to qualify. So that's all. If you have any questions, you can ask, and then we will conclude today's session. I'll just allow the mics.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, hello.
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 Thank you for your for your expectation for that presentation today. It's very useful. But I asked so if share another the number and email again to can save it for upcoming questions.
Sorry, I'm unable to get you.
And in the last slide of presentation, there was a number of whats and email for communication.
Oh,
So
I'm typing
kindly,
it in the
if
chat
you
box.
can search.
I'm typing in the chat box, connect@alphalearnings.com. So this is our email ID where you can contact us for any further correspondence. Right?
Thank you. And the another thing that I want to be sure that slides and pictures, it's okay to be in case study, or it's not it's not liked, or it's not so good to make more of pictures in case study.
For case study,
Yeah,
means you
attachment
are
for
asking attachment.
pictures or images.
Okay,
Yes, yeah.
attachment for, yes. See, there is no such guidelines that if you make more attachments, it will not be good. So whatever is contextual, try to put it there, right? That will make your case study, more realistic. Okay, it will be taken as more realistic rather than a hypothetical one. If you don't provide any evidence, no photographs, nothing in the appendix, rather you put some photographs of the images of the project. You can put if your company allows, if some confidential means if there are some documents, not confidential, the documents which are used in the used in the case study, and that is required to support your case study, you can put, like there may be some analysis costing that you have done for a particular thing, you can put in there in your appendix part. That will not be the part of your word counts. So of course that depends. Yes, nothing like that.
Okay,
So
okay,
ethics
okay.
module
Thank you.
limited. Yes, thank you. Ethics module. Okay, let me take the questions from the chat box. If anyone want to ask, they can ask parallelly.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, yes, please.
It was really nice, sir. So I was just to ask, like, I'm from India and I have done my submission in South Asia, uh, this side.
Yes,
And
yes.
let's just before the submission or just after the submission, I'm relocated to some other country.
Mhm.
So does it affect the interview process or it is fine? Like, anyways, it is online, right?
It is not going to affect it. But the thing is that
Hmm.
if you have migrated to some other country, you are employed there, right?
uh,
Now you have to disclose that to RICS. So RICS
Hmm.
will change the region to that place, and then you have to appear from that region. That is ideally that should be done, right?
Okay.
But
Hmm.
your final assessment processes are not going to be affected wherever you are across the globe. You just need an internet facility. That's it.
Right. Let's say after the submission, like the submission is done, then I'm relocating, right? Then I have to
Okay.
enroll again or something like that, or what is procedure
See,
usually?
no, if you have done the submissions, just appear for the interview, right? Just
Okay, it
appear
doesn't
for the
matter.
interview.
And I have
Doesn't matter.
select.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, okay, okay. But the recent experience will change, right? Just before the submission, like if I'm
Yes.
right in the current role, so in current role, let's say I have switched recently, so it will not be valid, right? I have to modify the summary of experience.
Yes, yes, yes. It will not be
Right.
valid.
Mm. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, ethics
Hi,
test
Suraj.
is, yes, please.
Santosh here. So thanks for great presentation and giving us clarity on submission and preparation for our ICS assessment. I just need clarity on one part that you presented, critical appraisal of projects. So can you give some brief about that, what we should understand about from that topic and how we need to tackle that while preparing our case study?
See, critical appraisal of the project means how you are analyzing the options that uh, you have suggested. Like when you are critically analyzing the options, you have to justify whether this option is meeting is able to meet all the criterias or all the expectations of the project, like all the project constraints. Say for example, you have taken one project, how this option that you are suggesting in resolving the key issue is impacting the project constraints, like how it is impacting the time, how it is impacting the cost, how it is impacting the quality, how it is impacting the employers expectations, how it is impacting the sustainability durability issues. It depends on your case study key issue. So you need to critically analyze each of the option and how you do it. Like some candidates are doing it through matrix, weightage matrix, as I have shown you. So they are putting the project constraint, and for each of the option, they are analyzing it quantitatively. Like for each of the option, how much weight, how much rating they can give that option in terms of time, in terms of cost, in terms of quality. So you can add sustainability, durability, all these things also depends on your key issue, right? So how you are critically analyzing, there may be quantitative analysis, there may be qualitative analysis. Uh, so this is actually the critical appraisal. This is the critical analysis that you should do in your case study.
Understood. Thank you.
So, sir, just another questions. Uh, what about if
Yes.
during a study a project? I am in tendering department. During study project, we had already three options, and we studied for the three options, and we decided to take option for the work. But during the operation, in operation stage, appeared another option. It's most likely or combined by between option two and option three, and was effective. That means that case study for option three, it's not so good, or make the case study weak, or it's okay for that.
See, I'm trying to, I mean, trying to understand what you are asking me. I'm not clear on it. You are saying that you have three options for a case study. Please correct me if I'm wrong, whether I understood it correctly or
Y-
not. So if you
Yeah.
have a three options, now in these three options, there are two options which are equally doable or feasible. That is what you are saying?
Yes.
Means out of these three options, there are two options which are equally good. Are you saying like that? I mean, how to
Yes,
differentiate between them?
option one not so good. Option two better. Option three it's okay or and good.
Okay.
But during operation, I already wrote my case study during the project in tender stage, and now project already in operation stage. So appeared another option. It's a combined between option three and option two, and already deals with the project. What ask about? Shall I change to put option four in my case study? Or it's okay if in conclusion, I wrote that in operation stage appeared an option four and was combined between two and three, and the impact of this combination.
Firstly, I need to be clear on whether your key issue is on pre-contract thing or on the post-contract. Your key issue is on the pre-contract issue or it's a post-contract issue?
And
If
pre-contract issue,
pre-contract issue.
but
So
mm,
yes. So if it's a pre-contract issue, that means you are resolving it in the pre-contract stage. So your options will be linked with pre-contract solutions. Should not be a post-contract solution. That is what my common sense, my understanding says. It must be related to tendering or procurement issues, maybe in pre-contract. So how
yeah.
you can take the operational things into your tendering? It's I'm unable to actually get your point. But yes, I can suggest you if there is something that has that you want to add, that you want to add, if there is something that you provide as a solution by adding two options together, you can always put that. Like there may be some solutions which are combination of two options that you can put as a fourth option. It is always workable.
Oh,
It is
okay.
accepted. It is accepted.
Accept. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, then I hope there are no further questions. Let me see if I have missed anything in the chat box. No, 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 no. Okay. Case study based on option 3, but after award option 1 and 2 were implemented. Does it weakens this case study? Okay, it's
Hello,
trying to
sir.
explain it. Yes.
Hello,
Yes,
sir.
please. Yes.
Thank you for your valuable presentation. And I would like to kindly clarify one thing from your side. When
Mhm.
I'm taking a case study, does it need to be described in my core level competency SOE?
Yes. Yes. It is mandatory
It's in the
requirement.
it's in the same scenario.
Same scenario.
Same scenario I want to describe on SOE.
Yes. Yes. In level 3. Because your
Level
case study is a
3
level
core
3 thing.
competency.
No, you are advising something in your case study.
Yeah.
So it should be in the level 3 of that core competency.
Is in the same issue we want to repeat is in the more
Yes.
elaborated way.
Yes. Same issue. Not elaborated in a concise
Same
way
issue.
because of a limitation of words
Yes.
in SOE.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, then. So today we have extended a lot today's session. I hope to see you all once again next week. Next week, not same time because due to Christmas we have shifted one day ahead of Wednesday. Next Wednesday we'll once again meet with another session. So see you all next Wednesday. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.